I tried tuning it and it broke it.
Uh-oh.
So I had to get a new string. So I think I'll just stick with it this way. I'm so blessed to have found this. It's a Cremona, made in 2007, made in China.
It's pretty violin.
They make good instruments in China. Willem got his grand piano, a Chinese one. It won Piano of the Year for 4 years
Really?
running.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it sounded a whole lot better than the Steinway or the Yamaha. It was a match with the something. Kawasaki or something. I think that was the one that was the same as. But I liked it. Had really nice soft notes.
It's beautiful piano.
Sounds great. And with that hole in the wall, right into our bedroom from the living room, it's so easy to hear it now. And I can say clap, 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 and he says thank you, thank you. I try and say that after every time he plays something. He's amazing, but I don't really notice it because it's the background music in my life, right? I don't notice it. And he plays so many pieces he's writing. He wrote his variations, and he wrote the Valentines, and now he's writing some partitas. And they're very long. His Valentines, I think, is 20 minutes long, and it's very difficult. He can't play parts of it. He has to practice and practice and practice to get. And it's very beautiful. And then his Valentines he wrote for me.
Oh, that's sweet.
And they're very long, too. At least 20 minutes long. Maybe 45. And that's very beautiful, and he'll practice that. And then he's writing these partitas. And so he's practicing the Valentines and the partitas, and I record a lot of what he plays, but I can't record what he's written until it's copyrighted.
Oh, my word.
Because I don't want,
Somebody
YouTube to steal it.
Yeah.
But actually, part of the copyright thing of YouTube might be that if you put it up, they own it. I don't know. I didn't read the fine print. But it's probably in there. Anyway, so, maybe not. But anyway, so I have a hard time telling which piece he's playing now. Because he plays them all so many times. And he's practicing Bach at the same time. And so this Bach piece, I really like it. It's number 5 or something. But he practices that, and he practices the other 2 and 3. And parts of them, just parts of them all. And I don't know what's what anymore. So when he starts to play, I'll say, "What is that? Who's that?" He says, "That's me." "Oh, okay." "That's Chopin." "Okay."
It's amazing that how he plays, though. I love it.
It is. It's so. I try so hard to record whenever he plays. I have my camera thing all like this. I set it up in the loft, so it looks down on him. And so I'm upstairs, and I just hear him start to play, and I dash around, and I turn on the camera, which is already there.
We played classical music when Hayden was a baby. They say it helps, develop their brain.
Yeah, my kids sure got classical music when they were developing. When they were in utero. What is it, dear? That's a beautiful little garden spot there. When you told me you were working on your yard, and I thought, yard? I thought it was all woods. What's there? But now I see where you've got stuff.
Yeah, I got
little spots here.
There and over here.
It looks so beautiful with the pines grow down and it's all growing away. Do the deer come and eat your hostas? It's nice to see that they've been here. It's nice when you said, "Oh, there's deer have been here."
I don't mind. I mean, it's there.
All God's creatures.
Yeah.
And when they were here first, and we were
That's right.
locked right down in their territory. It's like the Indians, I'm amazed at how much Indian influence is in this area. All the names, Sati, Nikuchi.
We need to watch that thing about. That tells, you wouldn't believe the Indian up here.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Okay, we'll watch that later when we are inside.
It is.
Maybe when it's dark out here and we don't want to be out here.
Okay.
I can't imagine not wanting to be out here.
No.
So amazing. But, I mean, knowing you is such a blessing. And this is echoey, which is another blessing. And both of them at the same time. I mean, that's just unheard of. I wish I'd met you when I was young.
I know. I thought of that.
We could have done
We would have had a lot of fun.
Right, you'd have come with me to the mountains and gone hiking on the Appalachian.
Yes. I would have done, I love stuff like that. I used to Walter Reed Hospital in Washington. That's about the only time I ever got to play in the woods. It was when Daddy would be in Walter Reed and Mom would have to be at home with the kids, so I would stay down there with Daddy. And I could go out. Back then, in the late 50s and stuff, kids didn't have to worry about it. We never did. So
No, I never did.
there were woods all around Walter Reed, and they had little benches and stuff and little gazebos and all. I would play for hours down there pretending I lived in the woods.
I would pretend I lived in the woods.
Did you? Oh, see?
Oh, always. I'd go in the woods and I'd sit down there by the river and I'd pretend I lived there.
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
And I made a garden down there.
And I'd tell Daddy, I'd say, I'd tell him, when I get older, I get married, I'm going to live in the woods. And he'd say, okay, in the woods, that's what you want. And I said, Well, when he came back, the house down in Gainesville is in the woods. And we got woods all around it. So when first time he came, we sitting out back. I said, see, Daddy, I live in the woods. He said, yeah, I remember you always saying that. I live in the woods. I was so happy. Kate and I and Tracy, we would spend a whole day just walking in the woods. We'd fix a lunch.
I know. I would write on the blackboard in my mother's house, gone to the river. Down at the river. Down at the river is what I would write, Nancy. And every day, they never wondered where I was. When they wanted me, they'd come out and they'd ring the bell. Ring, 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 and the whole neighborhood knew. Kenyon, we gotta go home. That was fun. There's nothing to do inside. Watch TV or something. I didn't want to be inside. My friend Becky across the road was adopted. And so we'd go over there and I wanted to play orphanage. All three of those kids were adopted together.
Oh my.
So I wanted to play orphanage and their mother did not like me. So the back porch was the orphanage.
Oh, me.
Oh. It was the bane of her existence. I was always grounded from her house. I was grounded from Smith's. I had to go home.
Oh.
I could come over onto the property beside, which was Mowers, and I'd be right at the edge of the property, and I could talk to Becky until the mother came out and sent me away.
Oh.
But she'd be grounded from going to my house, and I was grounded from going to her house. I mean, how can you get grounded if the neighbor grounds you?
I know.
My parents never grounded me. We got sent to our room. I had one of my bedrooms. I had the school bedroom, and I went out on the roof. The roof was right outside the window, like right here. And so I would climb out on the roof, and I'd sit out on the roof and look out over the woods down at the river. I did that a lot. But, the roof was over the kitchen, the dining room.
We had a roof like that at Fort Belvoir, and me and Harvey used to stay out on the roof. we could kind of sneak down, because it went over to Linda Tennell's, because the apartments all hooked together, so I could go over on her roof,
Oh, wow.
get in her window, and we could go outside when I was on restriction.
When you were on restriction. That's
Uh-huh.
it. I was on restriction from their house. That's
I
what
stayed on
Becky's
restriction.
on
But I think it
restriction.
too, I told Daddy and Mama one time, I said, I know why I was on restriction all the time. And I said, 'cause I had to stay in and take care of the babies. If I was in the house, I had babies. But we go down and play on the Potomac, had the best